Hey there. So we all have that carton of eggs sitting in the fridge, right? But be honest, have you ever stopped to wonder, wait, how long have these actually been here? Well, today we're going to crack open that very question and get to the truth about how long refrigerated eggs are really safe to eat.
So let me just ask you straight up, are you absolutely positive you're storing your eggs the right way? You might think you've got it down, but some really common habits could be cutting their shelf life way short and maybe even putting your health at risk. Let's find out.
Of course, we all know the golden rule. Pop your eggs in the fridge and they'll last longer. But here's the thing. Longer doesn't mean forever. You gotta think of refrigeration as a pause button, not a stop button. And that little distinction, it's absolutely crucial.
Okay, so if they're chilling in this nice, cold environment, why on earth do they still go bad? Well, it all comes down to the egg's own design, which is pretty brilliant, but, not perfect.
So get this. An eggshell might look and feel totally solid, but it's actually covered in thousands of teeny tiny microscopic pores. It's not really like a solid wall at all. It's much more like a very, very fine sponge.
And because it's porous, it's kind of like a two-way street. Over time, bacteria from the outside can slowly work their way in. And those strong smells from, say, last night's garlic bread, yep, they can get in too. And at the same time, the egg's own moisture can slowly escape, which is a huge reason it starts to lose that fresh quality.
And this brings us right back to the fridge. That cold temperature is amazing at slowing down the growth of any bacteria that might be hanging around. It basically puts them in super slow motion. But, and this is a big but, it doesn't kill them. Given enough time, even in the cold, those little guys can multiply to levels that might cause trouble.
And it's not just about the bacteria. The actual quality of the egg itself starts to degrade. The nutritional value takes a hit, especially for vitamins like B12 and D. The egg white gets all thin and watery, and the proteins that are supposed to keep the yolk nice and firm start to weaken. This doesn't just affect safety, it totally changes the taste and texture of your food.
So yeah, this drop in quality can lead to more than just a disappointing omelet. Eating eggs that are past their prime can actually have some pretty surprising long-term health effects, even if they don't seem obviously rotten.
And we're not just talking about a one-time bout of food poisoning here. When you consistently eat older food, you're forcing your body to constantly deal with this low-level bacterial load. This can lead to things like chronic digestive problems, a stressed-out immune system, and that just persistent fatigue you can't seem to shake. Plus, you're not even getting the full nutritional punch, which can leave you feeling weak.
This quote from the source material really hits the nail on the head. It's this constant, low-grade battle that your immune system is stuck fighting day in and day out. It's kind of like leaving your car engine running 24/7. Eventually the whole system just gets worn down.
Okay, so that's the problem. What's the fix? The good news is storing eggs properly is super simple, and it makes a world of difference. So let's just quickly walk through the do's and don'ts.
All right, here are the big ones. First, always store your eggs in the main part of the fridge, not the door. The temperature on the door goes up and down every single time you open it, and keep them in their original carton. It protects them from soaking up weird smells. So yeah, you should probably just ignore that little plastic egg holder thingy that comes with the fridge.
And here it is, the big one, the mistake so many of us make. Do not wash your eggs before you store them. See, eggs have this natural, invisible protective coating called the bloom. It basically seals up all those tiny pores we talked about. The second you wash it off, you're essentially rolling out the welcome mat for bacteria. If you need to clean them, just give them a quick rinse right before you're about to use them.
Okay, so what if you've done everything right, but you're still kind of side-eyeing that last egg in the carton? Well, there's a classic, super simple test you can do in literally seconds.
It's called the float test, and seriously, all you need is a bowl of water. Just gently place an egg inside, and its position in the water will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about how fresh it is.
So here's how to read the results. If the egg sinks and just lays flat on its side, it's super fresh, perfect. As an egg gets older, a little air cell inside of it gets bigger, which makes it floatier. So if it stands up on the bottom, it's a bit older, but still totally fine to eat. But if it floats right to the top, that means the air cell is huge, and it's a really strong sign that the egg has gone bad. The main thing to remember is a floater is a no-go.
But hey, remember, the float test is a fantastic guide, but it's not a 100% foolproof guarantee. Your absolute best tools will always be your own senses. When you crack that egg, give it a quick sniff.
Does it have any kind of weird sulfury smell? Look at it. Is the yolk flat and is the white all runny? If anything seems off, just trust your gut. It's not worth the risk.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It really boils down to this. Store them right and check them twice. That's it. Proper storage is your first line of defense, and a quick check is your second. You combine those two simple habits, and you can enjoy your eggs knowing your meals are both delicious and safe.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. The next time you reach into your fridge for an egg, you'll know exactly what to do. So is your next meal truly safe? Well, now you have the tools to know for sure.